Something's happening, gang. It looks like more and more politicians are leaving the sinking Democrat ship. It's glorious. Now we're seeing a major shift to the right happening, of all places, inside the bluest of blue cities. We're going to see the latest party switch happening with the mayor of America's fifth largest city and what the rise of what's called law and order politics means for collapsing the Democrats into a permanent political minority. You're going to absolutely love this. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve. You're a Patriot Professor here to help you think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So you haven't done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. And also, if you'd be so kind, please share this video with friends and family. We are once again being unfortunately suppressed by big tech, so I need your help to get the hopeful message of this channel out to as many people as possible. It is official. The Democrat mayor of the city of Dallas is now officially a Republican. In an op-ed of the Wall Street Journal, Mayor Eric Johnson, the mayor of the fifth largest city in the whole of the nation, Dallas, Texas, announced that he is leaving the Democrats and he is switching parties to the Republicans. Johnson wrote, quote, "The future of America's great urban centers depends on the willingness of the nation's mayors to champion law and order and practice fiscal conservatism. Our cities desperately need the genuine commitment to those principles as opposed to the inconsistent, poll-driven commitment of many Democrats that has long been a defining characteristic of the GOP. In other words, American cities need Republicans, and Republicans need American cities." Now, Mayor Johnson's defection actually comes on the heels of another Texas Democrat who just switched parties. Clayburgh County Attorney Kira Talib Sanchez recently announced that she's become a Republican after having served as a Democrat for the last 8 years. Sanchez specifically cited the horrific crisis at the southern border as the rationale for her switch, stating, quote, "There is an unprecedented crisis at our southern border. I believe that the GOP's policies of law and order, protecting safety and backing the blue, best align with my values and the values of the citizens of Clayburgh County. I look forward to working with my colleagues to keep South Texas safe." Now, what's so interesting here is that what both Sanchez and Johnson are doing is actually part of a rather noticeable, larger pattern of late. The Washington Free Beacon just published an astonishing report that found that over the last 20 years, get this, 4 times as many Democratic state lawmakers have switched to the Republican Party than the other way around. All told, 83 Democratic legislators have defected and joined the GOP since 1994, compared with only 23 Republicans who became Democrats. 5 of those blue to red switches happened just this year alone. But you'll notice, too, that we're seeing a theme emerge here with these 2 defections, aren't we? Both of these former Democrats pointed to the fact that the Democrat Party is increasingly seen as the party most responsible for the breakdown of law and order, while the GOP is associated with the party that will restore law and order. So law and order are becoming defining characteristics for this campaign. And what we're going to see here is that it may, in fact, end up permanently consigning the Democrats to a minority party for the foreseeable future. You're going to absolutely love this. But first, gang, we do have something very ominous developing here. Up until now, the digital dollar, a central bank digital currency, has been little more than just a headline. But right now, things are developing at an alarmingly rapid pace. It started with a sweeping executive order from the bumbling Biden administration, and now central banks are even hiring for their development. Here's the thing. You all know this. A digital dollar, when all is said and done, means centralized control of your money. It can be used to track your purchases, control what you buy, and even seize or freeze your assets like we saw with the Freedom Convoy. That's why it is so vitally critical you protect your money with precious metals like gold and silver. I partner with the top-rated precious metals company Goldco that have helped patriots move over $1 billion into the timeless value of gold and silver, and now it's your turn. Right now, they're giving you up to $10,000 in free silver while supply lasts, so don't wait. Click on that link below right now and do what countless patriots are doing to make sure bumbling Biden never, ever, ever has control over all your money. Go to the link below to learn how you can get started today. At his CPAC speech several weeks back, Trump advocated sending in the National Guard or the U.S. military to restore order in the midst of our imploding liberal cities.
In places where there is a true breakdown of the rule of law, such as the most dangerous neighborhoods in Chicago, the next president should use every power at his disposal to restore order, and if necessary, that includes sending in the National Guard or the troops. Every American of every background deserves to live in safety and in peace. Every American. One of the things that we were saddled with, and one of the hardest decisions I had to make when I looked at some of these cities that were run by Democrats going so bad so fast, I wanted to send in the Guard, I wanted to send in the troops, and sometimes I did. In Minneapolis, I sent in the troops and saved the place. I was getting ready to send them in Seattle when, if you look at, I guess it was Antifa, took over a big portion. You don't read about that too much. Nothing happened to those people, or very little. I think nothing. But they took over a big portion of Seattle. The troops were ready to go in, and they heard that. All of a sudden, they decided to leave. Thank you very much for leaving. But, you know, the president is not supposed to be doing that. The president is supposed to do it at the request of the governor. Well, when the governor was a Democrat, or the mayors are Democrats, they don't want any help under any circumstances.
Now, what's so interesting there is that Trump has been touting this theme in a number of his speeches of late. So this is becoming a repeated emphasis for Trump. The United States federal government is going to have to go in and clean up the societal rotten mess that liberal mayors and governors have made of our cities. And Trump is not alone. The great state of Texas has begun to crack down on their liberal cities. The Republican supermajority there is passing laws that will basically strip their cities of their jurisdiction to enact laws not approved by the state. They're taking aim at progressive judges and prosecutors. They're slashing local officials' emergency powers and broadly restricting the types of regulations cities can enact. Basically, what Texas is doing here is they're forcing their deep blue cities to live by and abide by the exact same laws as the rest of the state, laws that are, of course, deep red in their orientation. So any environmental laws, any attempts at defunding the police or relaxing crime prevention, all of that would be stripped away from the cities if they contradict state statutes. They're basically stripping their cities of their self-governing status. And now with Mayor Johnson of Dallas, they're finding powerful allies to implement conservative policies inside their cities. And again, it's not just Texas. A number of governors and legislators in red states are stripping their big city mayors and city councils of much of their power to regulate their urban areas in a manner not consistent with red state values. One of the more explicit ways they've done this is in red states that have passed total abortion bans. Abortion facilities are already basically banned from 90% of our nation's counties. It's almost entirely an urban industry at this point. But now blue cities inside red states are seeing their abortion facilities completely shut down. But that's just the tip of the iceberg in the various ways in which red state governments are starting to crack down on their deep blue cities and force them to govern in compliance with red state law. So all of this is to say that we may be seeing a very real Republican ultra-MAGA takeover of our nation's imploding cities. And if Republicans effectively take control of the majority of our cities, the Democrats may indeed find themselves having lost their major cosmopolitan voting demographic, which means they may indeed implode into a permanent political minority status. That's what we'll be keeping an eye on in the rise of law and order politics. Hey gang, I know what it's like to feel alone out there in these turbulent times, but I broke free. If you too have been looking for a community with like-minded patriots who are serious about resisting globalism, building a parallel economy, and having intelligent and deep fellowship on a regular basis, then you've come to the right place. In my Courageous Patriot Insiders community, we're building a close-knit movement of, by, and for patriots who are breaking free from the outrage and despair cycles of the mainstream media and taking on the fight against globalism. Every week, I deep dive into the content I can't share on big tech and give you the cliff notes on the truth of how patriots just like you are building up their communities, starting patriot businesses, and fighting the woke in both public and private. All with a few history and political lessons from yours truly, of course. If you want to stop feeling alone as a patriot and stand together with this fast-growing community, be sure to click on the link in the description below. Don't wait. Join me and my Patriot Coalition today, and let's get fighting.